Last gasp equaliser stuns Arsenal. United get the job done in Spain. Roma fight back to beat Ajax. And Villarreal triumph in Zagreb. Hey guys, Fletch here. Welcome to another Fletch Talks video. Welcome back to the channel. You know the drill by now. This is the video where I take a trending topic or a topic of interest within the world of football. I bring it here. I throw the spotlight onto it. We put it under the microscope. We look at it. We talk about it. We discuss it. We debate it. Whatever you want to call it, we bring it here to do exactly that. And today's video is, of course, no exception. As today, we are looking back at last night's Europa League action. Before we go any further though, would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get back into looking at last night's Europa League action, looking at the 4 games that took place last night. The first leg of the quarterfinals took place last night, and it was a night where Arsenal took on Slavia Prague. Man United were in Spain to face Granada. Ajax faced Roma, where on paper at least it looked to be the most hotly contested game of this round of fixtures. And Tottenham's conquerors Dinamo Zagreb hosted Unai Emery's Villarreal. A lot of stories, a lot of exciting football in the Europa League last night. So first, let's look at the Arsenal result. Yeah, as I mentioned, Arsenal took on Slavia Prague last night, the conquerors of both Leicester City and Rangers in previous rounds of this competition. And on this night, it would have been the perfect night for Arsenal had they had held on to a 1-goal lead for a little while longer. But due to an extremely late equaliser, it means the scoreline will be 1-1 when these two teams meet again next week for the second leg in Prague, with obviously Prague obtaining an away goal to take back to there. Nicola Pepe eventually opened the scoring for Arsenal with 4 minutes remaining of normal time after Arsenal had missed multiple chances to have opened the scoring much before that goal eventually took place. And it looked as though that goal would have won them the game, but a last gasp equaliser put a different spin on things going forward. And in all honesty, it sets up a very interesting tie ahead, a very interesting second leg to be played out next week. As I mentioned, Slavia Prague go into that game with an away goal. But for Arsenal, they are very capable of cancelling out that goal and putting it back into their favour, so to speak. So all they have to do really is just be more clinical in front of goal next week than they were in this fixture where they were at home. So they can easily cancel out that away goal. I'm still backing Arsenal to go through nonetheless, despite the fact it is Arsenal and they're pretty much unpredictable right now. I'm still backing them to go through, but I am anticipating that if you are a Gunners supporter, it will be a pretty nervy night for you. But I am honestly backing Arsenal to go through. It may not have been the perfect night for Arsenal, but elsewhere in the competition, it was the perfect night for Manchester United as they got the job done in their fixture with Granada as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side won 2-0 away from home. Marcus Rashford scored a very well taken goal in the first half before Bruno Fernandes scored a penalty late in the second half. Yep. Bruno Fernandes and penalties. Name me a better love story. I'll wait. In all honesty though, and in all seriousness, there's not a lot to say here, is there really? There's no shock here. You know, when this fixture was drawn, this was probably one of the more predictable ones to, well, predict. Pretty much everyone expected a United win here, and that is exactly what we got. And it's exactly what they've done. They won by 2-0, 2 away goals, and now all that they need to do is be professional and see out the remaining 90 minutes next week in the second leg. And then it's on to the semi-finals for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Semi-finals, they've got a decent record in semi-finals, right? Maybe they might actually win this one, who knows? Elsewhere in the Europa League, last night, Roma came from a goal down to beat Ajax 2-1 in the first leg. It means that going back to Rome next week, Roma will take 2 away goals with them into that tie. Ajax were probably my pick to go through in this fixture, but this is an excellent result by Roma. For obvious reasons, it gives them the upper hand going into the second leg, and it looks like they may actually go through to the semi-finals and the final 4 because of the first leg. But don't rule out the Dutch side just yet. It will be a very interesting game to come next week, one that will definitely be one to look out for going forward. And finally, Villarreal beat Dinamo Zagreb 1-0 on the night, meaning they'll be taking an away goal back with them to Spain. Of course, Zagreb were the conquerors of Tottenham in the last round, and they find themselves behind again going into the second leg, whilst Villarreal go into this game with an away goal and, of course, a manager who is no stranger to winning this competition in Unai Emery. Say what you want about Emery's reign as Arsenal manager or as PSG manager, but this man knows this competition best inside and out. He's won this competition on 3 occasions, all in consecutive seasons, back to back to back. And he did that, of course, with a fellow Spanish side, Sevilla, when he was manager of them. And of course, when he was manager of Arsenal, he did come runners-up in this competition a couple of years ago. So it'll be a very interesting 90 minutes for both these teams back in Spain next week for the second leg. And with that, that wraps it up for this video. But of course, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the Europa League? What do you make of the Europa League fixtures that played out last night and the results? What do you make of the second leg? How do you reckon the second legs will go? Who will make it to the semi-finals? Who will then make it to the final? Who will then win this competition? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section. I'm sure they'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.